I'd like to start with a story, and since it's around that Halloween time of year, I'm going to tell you about a situation I had about a dozen years ago where a buyer called and wanted to look at twin homes or semi-detached homes. That's where two houses share a common wall and they wanted to buy one half. They called on a Monday and said they wanted to go out on Thursday evening to take a look at some properties. And he had an odd request. His request was that I preview each house ahead of time to double check that there were no ceramic dolls in the house. This one caught me off guard. He said a lot of people have many different fears. Some people are afraid of flying. I'm afraid of flying. Some people are afraid of loud noises. Some people are afraid of enclosed spaces. Some people are afraid of heights. His wife had this unnatural fear. She was getting help, but she had this unnatural fear of ceramic dolls. She had this idea that they came to life at night, and it's something that's been ingrained in her since she was a child, and she was trying to get over it. So could I please pre-inspect each house and make sure there were no ceramic dolls? I said, no problem, that's easy. We set up 4 showings for Thursday evening, and of course, Tuesday and Wednesday went by with no problem. Thursday rolled around and it was pouring outside, and I was behind on some paperwork, and I never got around to it. So what I did was call each of the 4 listing brokers and ask them, hey, are there any ceramic dolls in the house? And 3 of them called me back and said, no, I didn't see any at all, don't worry about it. The 4th one I wasn't real concerned about because it was an empty house. It was an estate, the house had been cleaned out, didn't see a problem. So the buyers came in about 5 o'clock in the evening after work, and we set out to start looking at some properties. First 3 went by with no incident whatsoever, but by this point it's 7:30 at night, and this time of year it gets dark early. We got to the last house, opened the door, used a lockbox, opened the door, and found that there was no light switch right inside the house. Now these are set up, they probably are the same everywhere in the country. Typically 2 stories. First floor is a living room, dining room, and kitchen. Second floor has 3 bedrooms and a bath. And they're all connected front to back. In this case, peering through the darkness, it looked like the wall had been removed between the living room and dining room, leaving one big open space. I couldn't see any furniture, but I knew I didn't have a light switch. So peering through the dark, I saw on the far right wall, where the wall between the 2 rooms probably was at some point in time, there was a switch. So I ventured in, making sure I didn't hit anything. There were no furniture at all. Got to that far wall and flipped on the switch. By this point, the young couple had followed me in about 5 paces. They were probably 5 steps into the room. I knew my problem as soon as the light switch went on. Along both sides of the room, and this room was probably 22 to 25 feet long, along both walls, front to back, were 3 large shelves of ceramic dolls. The far back wall had 3 shelves of ceramic dolls as well, and standing in front of the shelves in the back was a ceramic doll maybe 5 foot high, giant one. I stepped back and went, oh my goodness. And I think what probably happened was the floor was made up of those long hardwood boards that go the entire length. And I'm believing that one of them was loose. I stepped on a board. It probably radiated across the floor. But whatever caused the next thing to happen, the big 5-foot ceramic doll appeared to move forward, appeared to take a couple of steps forward. My client freaked, ran out the door screaming. Her husband followed her. They called a taxi cab, and they never spoke to me again. And I did not get a sale out of that couple. You never know what you're going to run into in real estate. It's a funny business and can be entertaining sometimes and sometimes frustrating.